Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight in our news.
A change of venue for this week's cabinet meeting, this time in Freeport, Grand Bahama.
PLP leader Philip Brave Davis responds to the Prime Minister's recent comments on OBAN.
Parents here at the CW Sawyer Primary School call on the government to do some major repairs here at the school.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Jared Higgs. Topping news tonight, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert MINNIS dodging questions from the media on the controversial OBAN Energies project. Today, while speaking with reporters outside the office of the Prime Minister on Grand Bahama, MINNIS was dismissive of the deal. Kyle Joaquin has the story.
A change of venue for this week's cabinet meeting. It was here at the Harold de Gregory Complex building in Freeport, Grand Bahama, that we had a very interesting exchange with the Prime Minister.
Who's cable 12?
At this mirror here.
Don't twist my words.
I just have one more question.
Right, so y'all can record that. Yes. I told cable 12, don't twist my word. See you.
But that was just the end of the interaction. Just as he arrived at the office of the Prime Minister on Grand Bahama, Prime Minister MINNIS stopped to take just a few questions from reporters on the occasion.
This would have been the most appropriate place for us to have a cabinet meeting, especially to deal with Grand Bahama issues.
But while attempting to ask about an issue concerning Grand Bahama, the OBAN Energies deal, we got this response.
Listen, I'm talking about futuristic. OBAN is not. Listen, man, you hear me just open a project last night that I know gonna work. You hear I'm going to cabinet, they discuss another project that I know gonna work.
Just last month, OBAN Energies announced it had replaced its president, Sat Palduna, but insisted they are in the Bahamas for the long haul. There has been widespread concern surrounding the proposed $5.5 billion oil refinery and storage facility set for East Grand Bahama. For starters, the public never got the results of the environmental impact assessment, not to mention a heads of agreement signing that turned out to be just ceremonial. And while the Prime Minister initially dismissed a question about the project, MINNIS then briefly explained that OBAN is not up for cabinet discussion this week.
No, OBAN is not on the radar this morning. We're dealing with other issues this morning.
Okay.
While in Freeport for the cabinet meeting, the minister stayed at the now government-owned Lighthouse Point at Grand Lucayan. Our cameras caught them as they departed the hotel for breakfast. They were all smiles as they met around the Grand Bahama cabinet table for their meeting. The Prime Minister said this meeting is all about investments for Grand Bahama.
Once you find that first investor, for some reason everything else just follows. You find lots of other investors subsequently coming. And this morning we have to deal with quite a number of investors who want to invest in Grand Bahama. Excellent projects.
Possibly an owner for the new hotel when they see a project like this coming on stream as an incentive?
Some of what is would be discussed today, cabinet would be surprised, so I can't tell you.
Reporting from Grand Bahama for Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Opposition leader Philip Brave Davis was quick to condemn Prime Minister Dr. Hubert MINNIS his comments over the OBAN Energies project, saying it appears even the Prime Minister realizes OBAN was more than just a misstep. Jasmine Brown reports.
Davis says the Prime Minister's recent comments may be a sign that MINNIS has seen the writing on the wall when it comes to the controversial project.
Now nonsense in his words, which he said to the press. And that Damascus moment, I think, has revealed to him that what he did was nonsense, that he was engaged in nonsense. And now that he's recognized his nonsense, don't trouble him with that nonsense.
Davis fired off that response during his monthly press briefing at Progressive Liberal Party headquarters on Tuesday morning. Just last week, the opposition leader insisted the MINNIS administration is too arrogant to abandon the controversial project. The OBAN deal was signed by the government on February 19, 2018. Since then, it has been heavily criticized by environmental organizations, the opposition, and some Grand Bahama residents. While the Prime Minister has since fessed up to missteps with the project, Davis says almost a year after that ceremonial signing, the missteps are still mind-boggling.
He has come around as the Damascus moment. He's now seeing the light.
As for that subcommittee that has been tasked with reviewing and renegotiating the heads of agreement, Davis says the opposition has not assisted in its work. However, the PLP leader says as far as he is concerned, there is nothing the government can do to revive the notorious project.
They don't engage us in those things. It's a government negotiation. We would like to be a part because I think they need help in negotiating.
Reporting for R News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
The prosecution in the Frank Smith bribery case is appealing the magistrate's decision to throw that case out. 6 grounds were listed, and in this report, our Jillian Gray takes us through the appeal.
3 days after Chief Magistrate Joy-Ann Ferguson-Pratt threw out bribery and extortion charges against former Senator Frank Smith, the Attorney General's office filed an appeal against that decision. On Friday, Ferguson-Pratt said there was not a scintilla of evidence to support the fact that there was a meeting between Barbara Hanna and the accused prior to the award of the contract. Prosecutors in this case detailed several reasons for the appeal. They said the magistrate took extraneous matters into consideration in her decision and added that the decision was unreasonable or could not be supported having regard to evidence. Prosecutors also said that evidence was strongly rejected or inadmissible evidence was wrongly admitted by the magistrate, and that in the latter case there was not sufficient evidence to sustain the decision. They furthered that the decision was based on a wrong principle or was such that a magistrate viewing the circumstances reasonably could not properly have so decided. Finally, they said that some material illegality or irregularity which substantially affecting the merits of this case was committed in the course of the proceedings or in the decision. The Commissioner of Police is listed as the appellant and Smith as the respondent. In the meantime, the Attorney General Carl Bethel could not say how much government paid the Crown's lead prosecutor in the case. This despite the MINNIS administration's continued promise of transparency and accountability. British QC Edward Jenkins was brought in last February to replace Anthony Delaney. The Attorney General said that Jenkins charged fees reasonable with that of a Queen's Counsel. He added that he thought it was inappropriate to discuss the fees. Reporting for R News, I'm Jillian Gray.
The Office of the Attorney General's decision to appeal a magistrate's decision to toss the corruption case of former Progressive Liberal Party Senator Frank Smith will be a waste of taxpayers' money. That's according to Opposition Leader Philip Brave Davis, who says Attorney General Carl Bethel is yet another member of the MINNIS cabinet who needs to lose his post over the case.
I now say the 3 ministers have to go. So I add now Carl Bethel, the Attorney General.
The AG's office filed the appeal on Monday. Smith, who was also the former chairman of the Public Hospitals Authority, was arrested in July 2017 and accused of demanding and receiving $60,000 from Barbara Hanna from 2016 to 2017 after allegedly helping her company win the contract to clean the critical care block of Princess Margaret Hospital. The ruling came after Smith's attorney made a no-case submission. Meantime, Attorney General Carl Bethel has declined to reveal the amount of money the government has paid British Queen's Counsel Edward Jenkins to lead the prosecution. Davis says it's unthinkable that the AG would not be transparent on how public funds are being spent.
The Attorney General cannot be serious in his pronouncement in the press that it is not appropriate for the government to discuss legal fees. He hired a foreign QC to prosecute.
A new cruise port in Grand Bahama is expected to provide over 1,000 direct and indirect permanent jobs for the island, according to Prime Minister Dr. Hubert MINNIS. The port will be developed by Carnival Cruise Line in the area of Sharprock, just 4 miles east of Lucaya in Freeport. Labour Minister Dion Folk said with this new opportunity and others, government is working on the ailing Grand Bahama Island, which could soon have full employment.
First of all, I am very pleased we're asking a question, can we find the people to meet the jobs, which is very good for us. Normally we're talking about persons who are unemployed, we don't have the available jobs. But this is very good news for Grand Bahama and also for the entire Bahamas. We may reach the point where we have full employment here in Grand Bahama soon. With the sale, the potential sale of our Lucaya, with the further development of GIN, with this project with Carnival. This is excellent news for Grand Bahama.
The government insists the new project will adhere to strict environmental guidelines, as Carnival promises the port will be one of the most technologically advanced cruise ports in the region. Both Finance Minister Peter Turnquest and Grand Bahama Minister KWASI Thompson agreed with folks on the labour front and said the island is in desperate need of such a boost.
Taxi drivers, tour operators, other persons who own businesses around the island, this really is a catalyst, and it really is a true opportunity. I mean, we believe the construction is going to start in a few months. Those construction jobs are important jobs for the community.
Haitian embassy officials have reportedly requested the bodies of those 27 Haitians who drowned near Abaco on Saturday. This heartbreaking incident bringing back memories of a similar tragedy just over 5 years ago, where dozens of Haitians drowned near Exuma. Meanwhile, President of the League of Haitian Pastors, Dr. Jean-Paul Charles, says the first priority is to find money to bury those whose lives were lost over the weekend.
Second of all, to see how we can, do a decent, funeral for them.
Officials at the Haitian embassy have reportedly requested the bodies of the Haitian nationals who died after their vessel ran aground in Man-O-War, Key Abaco on Saturday. According to Foreign Affairs Minister Darren Henfield, embassy officials want to handle the burials of the 27 lives lost. This was confirmed by Charles, who says his team has been liaising with Haitian embassy officials since Sunday.
We are going to have another meeting again to see how better we can, just do a decent, burial for the people who lost their lives, how we can support, to have the money in place, first of all.
The Department of Immigration revealed yesterday that Coroner Janine Weech-Gomez and Haitian embassy official Carl-Henri Chatelier were at Abaco, and that all official proceedings relating to the handling of the deceased would be conducted there. The tragic incident comes more than 5 years after 30 Haitian nationals drowned off the west coast of the Exuma chain. Half a decade on, and with at least another 27 dead, officials fear that calls for Haitian nationals, especially those living in northwest Haiti, to avoid the life-threatening journey are being willfully ignored. Still, Charles believes the message needs to be repeated over and over again.
I think that's what we have to do, a better job. He may not, stop it, but he will reduce that, We have to get together to spread the message out, like I think the government has to do its part, Political side, as you can see, in Haiti, every other day is a demonstration, things like that need to stop, for everybody work with the government in Haiti, see how they can better, help the Haitian citizen. But the best way we can do it in a pastor language, we can do as much as we can do, but the government in Haiti has to do their part to go around. Most of the time is on northwest and in Haiti and wherever else, people come from to go in Haiti to catch the boat to come here and to just to be end like that, I think everybody has to do something.
Still to come on our news, parents at CW-SAWYER Primary demand answers following reports of mold. Plus, the latest on payouts for Grand Lucayan workers. That is coming up when our news returns.